Okay, so these are the first challenge. This is my drawings for the first challenge. I wanted to spend some time talking about the first couple things I think you need to learn when you learn how to draw. So here are my three claws on the top: lobster claw, scorpion claw, praying mantis claw. Let me shut off all the layers and quick walk you through this real quick. The first thing you want to focus on until you're a master of it is A, doing a sketch, and then B, over top of that sketch, laying out a clean line drawing. Okay, the clean shapes, you need to train your eye to see the sharp edges, the lines within these natural objects. So on the lobster claw, I did the sketch. Over top the sketch, I laid some lines, and I added just a little bit of thickening some of those lines. Okay, that's the starting point of all of these technical drawings, is this sort of shape, this sort of object. Now, after this, it depends on the technique you want to use. After this, the choices are much more expansive, but this is the basic starting point for any sort of drawing you're going to do. Now, there are choices that you need to make after you have the line drawing. So the choices after the line drawing are: one, am I done? Okay, some drawings are literally just line drawings, and that's it, line drawings. And you can make a really interesting piece by just straight up line drawing shapes. Okay, are you done there? Or two, are you gonna do shading? Are you gonna do shading? And if you do shading, you have a couple options. Okay, so you need to make now a bifurcated choice. You can either do more lines for the shading. So this would be like cross hatching. Let me show you an example of cross hatching. Okay, so again, just Pinterest cross hatching. Here's a great example of using entirely cross hatching to completely shape an object fully into an apple. Okay, so this is one choice you have, is cross hatching. Okay, you have another choice, which would be stippling. Okay, so let me show you an example of stippling. Here's a stippled image. Okay, stippling is literally just dots, and the density of the dots is obviously going to make things darker or lighter. It's almost like doing pixels, confuses your brain, and you see sort of gray regions. But keep in mind, all these dots and all the lines and the crosshatches are exactly the same color. They're all pure black or pure white. It's just that the density of those marks corresponds and tells your brain to see different patterns. So stippling is your second choice. Okay, your third choice is gray washes. Okay, and this is actually changing the color. Okay, so let me show you an example of gray washes. I can show you the gray washes I did in my piece. Okay, so hang on. So in my lobster claw, I did some gray there. Over top, some more grays. Over top, some more grays, and some lighter grays. So I'm actually changing the color. Okay. Show you my scorpion claw here. One layer of gray, second layer of gray, third layer of grays, fourth layer of grays. Okay. And let me show you on my mantis claw. My mantis claw was exactly the same rationale, but inverse orientation, in the sense that I first make it pretty dark gray, and then I'm painting lighter grays over top and darker grays mixed in. This is all just gray washes. And then by combining all these techniques, so stippling, cross-hatching, and gray washes, you can kind of come up with something like this. But I do think it's really important early on to separate these techniques and to test these techniques independently until you have sort of mastered them independently before you start like combining. Because if you don't have a good experience with crosshatching, you're not going to know really when it's going to look good to put lines. If you don't have a good understanding of the gray washes, you don't understand sort of the density of the dots you might want, because you might think, well, I better put dots here to make some texture, but then you're not realizing later you're going to put some gray washes. So I would isolate these elements and do practice experiments on individual shapes. And that's what the next videos that I'm going to show you is how to do some of these experiments and how to approach learning these individual techniques.